Okay, so let me do question number 4 on the practice exam 3. So this is what we're given. We're given that the lookouts are 20 miles apart. The bearing from A to B is south 65 degrees east. Bearing from A to the leopard is northeast 50 degrees. Bearing from B to the leopard is northeast 8 degrees. And we want to know, so the WTK means want to know, is the distance from the leopard and lookout A. Okay, so let's first start with lookout A and B. So A says that it is southeast 65 degrees of B. So like, let's say this is A. So here's lookout A. The bearing on this is going to be southeast. So here is south, here is east. It's going to be southeast towards B. So let's say this is B. And the degrees here is going to be 65 degrees. Okay, and remember that when we're talking about bearing, it's always going to be on the north-south line. Okay, so we got that one. We also know that the lookouts are 20 miles apart. So here's 20 miles. Okay. All right, now the other thing that we want to know, or that we are given, is that the bearing from A to the leopard is northeast. So northeast is going to be over here. So here is northeast. Okay, and let's say here's my leopard. Okay, leopard. Okay, and the bearing on that one is 50 degrees. So this thing is 50 degrees. Okay. All right, now I also know that the bearing from B to the leopard is going to be northeast. So let me just draw another north, south, east, west thing. This is going to be 8 degrees. So from here all the way to the leopard is going to be 8 degrees. Okay, so this is 8 degrees. Okay, and what we want to know, let me color that in different color, is going to be the green one, which is the distance from the leopard to lookout A. So here is X. That's what we want to know. Okay, so there's many different things that we need to be aware of. Okay, well, one of the things, I'm going to use different colors. I want to know what all of these angles are. Okay, so I need to figure out what this is. Well, if this is 65 and the other one's 50, I know that this entire angle forms 180 degrees, okay? So it's going to be a supplementary angle, so I know that the whole thing will be 180. So let's add the 50 and the 65 together. So when I add 65 plus 50, that's going to give us 115. In order for me to find this angle, I have to subtract everything from 180. It's going to be 180 minus 115. That's going to give me 65. So this middle angle is going to be 65 degrees. Okay. Now, I need to figure out what this one is. So let me color that one in red. Okay, I need to figure out what that is. Okay, so there's many different ways that you can do this. If you remember alternate interior angles, so let's say, throw back to geometry. So let's say you had an angle here, right? An angle here, and also an angle here, okay? And you had an angle here, right? So you can always do these different types of modifications, right? So alternate interior angles just mean that if you have opposite, or these are what we call vertex angles, but like, I mean, it doesn't really matter what the names are, but if you know this type of geometry, then you know that this red angle is just going to be 65 degrees because this is completely opposite of what this one is, okay? If you didn't know quite how to get 65 degrees there, what you can do is you can further extend this down, okay? And then make and further extend this one here. And what we actually end up doing, we actually make up another triangle. This is a 90-degree angle. I know that this entire thing is 65. Now let me try to figure out what this one is, okay? That one is going to be, well, if I know that this is 90 and I know this is 65, 90 plus 65 is going to give me 155. In order for me to know this angle, I'm going to take 180 minus 155. Okay, so 180 minus 155, that's going to give me 25 degrees. Okay, so this tells me that this is 25 degrees. Now, from what I know, if I were to extend this thing, this entire thing is a 90-degree angle, okay? So if this is 25, the red thing is going to be 90 minus 25. which in turn gives me 65 degrees. Okay, so that's where this 65 comes from. Okay, so you can either do it two ways. You can either say that this angle, by geometry, you can figure out that this angle is going to be the same thing as this angle, or you can just further extend this into another triangle. Know that this is 90 degrees, that's 65. Figure out that this is going to be 25, and then subtract it from 90. Okay, so you have to really be very conscious about how you're making all these angles. Okay, so now this entire angle here is going to be whatever 65 plus 8 is, which is 73 degrees. So this entire angle is going to be 73 degrees. Okay, so now that we basically figure out everything, I can just figure out what this angle is. Because if this is 65, this is 73, well, 65 plus 73 is going to give me 138. Take 180, subtract it from 138, and you're going to get 42 degrees. Okay, and once we have that, now we are able to figure out this side x. Because all I have to do is just use the law of sine. So I can figure out the sine of 42 degrees divided by the opposite side, which is just the 20 miles that was given to us, is equal to, well, now I'm trying to figure out this x. X is opposite of this angle, which is 73, sine of 73 degrees divided by x. We can go ahead and cross multiply. X sine of 42 degrees is equal to 20 sine of 73 degrees. Let's divide by the sine of 42 degrees. Whoops. Divide by sine of 42 degrees. So my x is going to be whatever that's 20 sine of 73 degrees divided by sine of 42 degrees is. And I think that's 28.6 miles. Okay. So that is how you do this problem. So yeah, this one was a little bit involved. It involved a lot of geometry. You may be comfortable with it. You may not be comfortable with it. But if you really, really understand this and know how all of these angles made sense, then you should be pretty good. Okay.